It is a privilege to be joined on the summit today by Pat Reardon, who is the head softball coach at Central Methodist. And Coach Reardon has eclipsed a milestone, 1,000 wins as the head coach of the Eagles. Coach, congratulations on that. As we get into that over the course of our time together today, you did it with a 5-2 victory over Central Baptist on the road. Talk a little bit about that win. I don't know if you knew coming in what a big deal it might be, but it's a win that got you to a milestone.
Yeah, it's I knew at the beginning of the year, it kind of been reminded of me a couple of times. I was at a coaching clinic and speaking in Kansas City, and the host there, the NFCA president, kind of blurted it out that I'm 14 wins away. So that kind of put it right in front and center before the season started. I've never really been a numbers guy. I've been here a long time, so obviously, if you have any kind of decent program, you're gonna accumulate those wins, but yes, I knew it was out there. How quick it would get here, I didn't really know. But obviously, we were playing in Gulf Shores, went 4-0, and that put me one game away from kind of getting there. And then, of course, Mother Nature decided she was going to step in, and we got rained out on Sunday, and so it kind of delayed the process a little bit. And it was kind of one of those things at that point where you take every win, and value it and treasure it, but it's like, you just wanted to get that next one out of the way. And it happened to come in Central Baptist on our way home from Gulf Shores. And, Jessica down there, I've known for a long time as a player and then as a coach. And she's done a great job with their team. And I knew they were a lot better. And us being off and kind of at the beach for, 2 or 3 days, kind of scared me a little bit, but we had a little bit of a slow start, but we came out and Haley Cotter, who's kind of become our ace right now, took the ball and did a great job, and we scored enough to win. And kind of when it was over, the girls kind of gathered around, and we had a quick talk and moved on to the next game.
Okay, so I'm assuming then it's sunk in just a little bit. You had time, obviously, with what you were talking about, a little notice at the start of the year, and what you've accomplished now. That's a lot of wins, Coach. It's a big number. Does it feel like it's a big number?
Not really. I kind of look back on, when I tell people this is my 33rd year of coaching softball here, it's gone really, really fast. I've been here for 40. I was trying to keep track of that today. I started here as a little old freshman in 1986, coming here to play soccer and baseball, and graduated from here, and was kind of didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated. And my wife of 33 years, was in the waiting for me, and so she had another year of school, and so our soccer coach offered me a GA position, kind of took that. And a year later, I'm the head soccer coach, and 2 years later, I'm the head softball coach. So, I tell people I teach business classes. I've never, ever interviewed for a job other than on a racquetball court. I had our president and our athletic director one day. I was kind of the fill-in, the fifth guy on a racquetball foursome. And I kind of said, hey, I hear that softball is going to open up. And that was at noon. And by 3, I had the job. So, here I am 33 years later, and just kind of has gone really, really fast.
That's an amazing story, Coach. That is really pretty cool. And, in light of that, I mean, there are a lot of years that we talk about and a program that's been there, but 1,000 wins. And I want to make sure that people know that you're not just living on the past in those wins and just limping into 2025. It seems like the program, under your time has been consistent, but it continues to get better. You've taken the Eagles to the NAIA World Series 4 times in the previous 13 seasons, and that includes 2023 and 2024. So, I mean, you're really just pushing right on along and advancing as you go into this next 1,000.
I tell the kids all the time. We had a talk the other day. Just 16 years of coaching without winning a conference championship. So from 93 to 2008, that was something that was kind of unheard of. And from 2008 on, it's kind of the expectation. So, things kind of threw a switch, and and many of my stories, that's 2006 is around the time that my dad joined the staff as a volunteer. Since then, he's taken over the recruiting, he's taken over hitting. And I give so much credit to him and the work he puts in as an unpaid volunteer, and probably spends more money a year on the program helping these girls with whatever they need. But that was a big turning point. Obviously, we got a couple players that made a difference. Chelsea Fendler, who just went into the Hall of Fame for us, was a pitcher that transferred from a Division I school, and that kind of set the tone that, hey, it's okay to come to a place like this. You can win, you can be successful, you can get your degree and still play high quality softball. And like you said, from that point on, now we're ascending, and it's become a challenge to just keep at the top every year.
And what a fantastic story that is too. I'd love to even talk more about that. I want to talk about you today, but talk about your dad coming on, and that's a great aspect to the story as well, and a turning point too. We're visiting now with Coach Pat Reardon here on Midwest Sports Net, and I encourage you, please take the time, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. 33 years, Coach. That number sticks with me because the calendar year that you took over as the head coach was when I got my first degree. So I know that we're about the same age there. And spoiler alert to anyone who may be watching, it's a number that starts with 5. So that in mind, though, I mean, the quick math on this is pretty easy. 1,000 wins, 33 seasons, really 32 and a half right now, but 33 seasons. Winning more than 30 games per year, that's consistency even at that, even though it's ascending now. I talk about what culture means to you and what it is to get to that point where still you're averaging that high number.
Cultures, I know it's a buzzword, and it's something that every program talks about, and it's not easy. It's not something that I can, give you a magic pill and say, hey, here it is. But I think it's something that you do have to work on. You do have to be able to adjust. And I think the common theme for us, people at our age, starts with a 5. We talk about coaching in this generation. And over 33 years, you can imagine that I've seen different types of kids and different types of parents and different types of administration. And, it does change. And the way you coach and the way you do things has to change, and you have to evolve, or you're not gonna be very successful and happy very long, or make other people happy. So we do take a lot of time. I give the girls and my coaches a ton of credit. I don't really do a whole lot in that sense, other than they know the expectations, and it's up to them to continue the tradition, to continue the things. I kind of give them some refreshers, and I'm not a big yeller and screamer. I'm super type B. My dad is the type A person. But I'm very laid back from the standpoint of, this is what we're going to do. And if you see me coach, or you see some of our practices, they're very kind of, we get in and out, we do things, we're quick. Sometimes it's off the cuff. And I think the girls understand that. They know, but they're the ones that kind of are policing things behind the scenes. It's not me most of the time. They know, hey, don't do that, because, Pat he doesn't like that very much. That sets him off. Or, oh yeah, we can do this, and it's great. And so it's kind of obviously spurs from within, and the winning does help. Don't get me wrong, but they know, kind of what their path is and what the culture is that's built up, and how to follow it.
You talked about the fact that you've been there for about 40 years, and you got a degree there. You lettered in soccer and baseball as well. In being there that long, I love thoroughly enjoy the interview, quote unquote, to get the softball coach job too. That's fantastic. But as you've spent time there too, I'm sure there've been opportunities to do something else. What keeps you in Fayette?
That's a good question. I think the people we've had before, I mean, it's always starts with the student athlete, and it's kind of, and I tell them all the time, when recruits ask me, how long are you going to be here? How long are you going to be here? And in the early days, it was easy to say, well, as long as they'll keep me without firing me, or things like that. And now it's kind of become, I've coached for 33 years. If I was a mountain, I'm somewhere on the backside of that mountain. I don't see me coaching another 33 years, but I don't know if it's 3 years, if it's 10 years. I feel good right now. I've got the full support of my family. My daughter went to school here. She helped me coach. My son helps some in the off season when he's not working. My wife obviously sacrifices a lot and has been with me. My dad's with me. My mom is kind of our team seamstress. Any pant that you see that's been repaired has been done by her. They travel to games. So everything right now is going good. I love our administration. Our president has been super supportive. He helps me make lineups. He gives me suggestions. He's kind of very, very involved. And I say that in a good way, and very supportive of what we've done. So I don't know. Facilities are great. The recruits still keep coming in. Like you said, we're still ascending, and I'm still having fun with it. And so I don't know. We'll kind of see how long this takes me and where we're at next. But as far as moving on, I've never really had somebody beating down the door to say, "Hey, come coach us." And I've never really looked. And maybe that's why. I always tell our administration, it's like I'd love to have walk into your office and say, "Hey, KU's on the phone or Mizzou's on the phone. They want me to come there. What are you guys going to do about it?" But I've made a ton of connections through this. I'm sure if there's something that I wanted to do, I could reach out and try, but I've never really had that itch to do it. And the community's been great. And we've, established ourselves in the town of Boonville, and my wife's retired now. But that's kind of a long answer to just, I feel comfortable here and never really had the itch to go do anything else.
Those are the things that are fun to hear, Coach. I really appreciate that. You're playing at home then, as we wrap up our time together today. You're playing at home for the first time since you crossed that milestone. You have a couple of doubleheaders this weekend: Saturday against Mid American Nazarene and Sunday against Graceland. Preview the weekend for us.
I think it's conference play. So it's our conference is a very, very good conference. It's tough every weekend. I try to stress to our girls. We had a day off Tuesday. I tried to stress to them yesterday that nobody cares coming in here that you're ranked 6th in the country or that you've won the conference the last couple of years. If nothing else, that gives the other teams more fire to come in here and try to beat you, because if they win one game all year and they beat you, then that makes their season. So we'll have to be ready. I think we played a lot of different lineups. A lot of different girls have gotten looks. And I think now it's coming down to most of our positions are solidified. I've got about 2 or 3 girls that are going to rotate, right now, but most of our positions are solidified. We're still pitching by a staff, which has been kind of nice to see. I don't really have, just a 1-2 that we're going to go out there every game. It's kind of, hey, go give me a couple innings and we'll kind of move on. We're going to live with our offense and hopefully kind of go. But I guess the conference is tough, and being at home will be nice. Weather seems to be looking okay right now, and we're excited to get out and have our own fans in front of us and start this conference march for another year.
All right. Coach Pat Reardon, who now has 1,002 wins to go along with 574 losses and a tie. Of course, you have to throw that in there somewhere. In 33 years, there had to be a tie, Coach, I'm sure. But cross that 1,000 win milestone. Coach, thank you so much for taking time with us today here on the Summit. We'll follow the Eagles through and see if you can make a 3rd consecutive trip to the NAIA World Series. But success to you, sir.
I really appreciate you reaching out. It means a lot to me. Thank you.